This is the Horse Radio Network. This is episode 399 of the Stable Scoop Radio Show by HorseLovers.com. HorseLovers.com takes the title, Smoothies and $2 Chuck. Please support all our sponsors as they make this show possible. Our sponsors this week are HorseLovers.com, Uncle Jimmy's, Bates Saddles, and Clarion Lexington. We are proud to welcome HorseLovers.com as the title sponsor, and we put customer service manager Jennifer DeMeglio in the hot seat. Plus, Helena's new rescue puppy, monthly health and wellness, is on Smoothies, and a little $2 Chuck. Listen in.
Welcome to the Stable Scoop, with weekly shows delivered right to you. With Helena and Glenn the Geek, live from the stable, it's every week. They bring you the news through hail or high water, while using their tails as their own fly swatters. So sit on down and laugh till you poop, cause it's time again for the Stable Scoop. Stable Scoop. The Stable Scoop. Stable Scoop.
This is Glenn the Geek.
And this is Helena B. And you're listening to the Stable Scoop Radio Show on the Horse Radio Network.
Oh, what's left of Helena B today?
I know, dude. I'm like down for the count with this like chest cold weirdness.
You got the cold. I'm just getting over it. I think half the world's had that cold.
I know. I was talking with a client this morning, and I was like, I'm really sorry if I start hacking in your ear. She's like, oh, well, I was going to apologize to you because I might hack in your ear. I was like, okay. We'll just make
We're
it
going to limit Helena's talking today. We got a timer going. She can only talk like 1 minute, and then she has to cough.
I have been doing interviews since 9 o'clock this morning.
Well, it's so good to have you on. We are going to get right to it today, and we have a great show planned for you, and we're so excited for an announcement that we have a little bit later, and we got a great Tech and Have It, all that coming up. But the most important thing we have to talk about, and you held out on me because I didn't learn it till Facebook, I feel like some friend now, is you got a new puppy. Tell us about it.
We did get a new puppy. So I've long been an advocate for adopting shelter dogs, and I feel very, very passionate about it. I worked as a vet tech for 3 different veterinarians when I was in college. In fact, that's how I put myself through school. So I've had my hands on a lot of dogs and cats. I've experienced every kind of dog you can think of. And unfortunately, part of the veterinarians' jobs in the county there where I lived and worked, they had to do a rotation with the shelters in the area. And part of that rotation was euthanasia. And so we put our share, more than our share, of healthy dogs down simply because there was no room for them or there was no one to train them, socialize them.
Boy, how did you decompartmentalize that? You're so squishy. I don't know how you decompartmentalize that. That was tough.
You didn't. You toughen. You don't decompartmentalize. You develop a very hard shell from it. You never forget it. It goes somewhere deep inside of you, and then you just build these layers out on top of your personality that help you deal with that kind of thing. And then it changes your perception of the world and the people in it, and of course the dogs. So that's sort of that's my firsthand experience, and where this passion came from. Why do you adopt? Now, I've had 2 purebred St. Bernards, but both were rescues. I had a Newfie. She was mostly Newfie. She might have had a little something else in her, but she also came from the shelter. When I was little, we had purebred dogs. We didn't know any better. So this time around, we haven't had a dog for about 2 years. And, Buck, Grace, and I were like, yeah, we think it's a good time to kind of keep our eyes open. We were in Tractor Supply a few weeks ago getting horse fencing, getting ready to get the fields ready for the spring.
And it was dog adoption day?
They had 1 dog there. Rough Tails Rescue had 1 dog there, and she was adorable and really sweet. And they had a sign that said, Fosters Wanted. So I thought, okay, maybe we're not 100% ready for a dog full-time, but let's see what this foster thing is all about. Well, it didn't take me all but 5 seconds to jump from the foster application to the adoption application because I'm just
You would have flunked anyway.
Exactly. So Buck's like, let's just do it. Let's just put the application in. So I was like, all right, that's not a commitment. We'll give that a try. Well, of course we get approved. And it turns out that the dog we saw at Tractor Supply, she was a pit bull terrier mix, but she was very sweet. And it turns out that she had been aggressive toward cats in her past life. And that was not something that we
ate them for lunch.
She did.
Yeah,
she really did.
That's not
and
good.
I don't hold that against her. Just say, okay, we have 2 cats. You're not going to be a good fit for our household. So, they do this home visit and they check you out. And when the woman came to do the home visit, she's like, oh my God. Okay. So Misha's not a good fit for you. We got a whole bunch of dogs that would just be in heaven here. So she's like, go look on our website. And of course I see this dog who barely even looks like a dog. And I see that the photograph was of him at 9 months old. And I just think, what the heck? What am I going to do? He has to come live with us. Who cares if he's a pit bull or a pit bull mix or whatever?
Describe the picture.
He was found in a trash can in Miami, and he was emaciated. So he was skeletal. He had a fractured eye socket. He had a broken tail, a torn ACL, and probably one of the most severe cases of demodectic mange that I have ever seen.
I saw the picture. This is the saddest looking dog I have ever seen.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. I don't know how he had the will to even stay alive. I don't know how his body could survive everything that was going on. I mean, it was mechanical, with the bones and the ACL. It was systemic with the mange. He was obviously completely malnourished. He was a puppy. So the photograph that we put up on Facebook was from October. So he was barely 9 months old when they found him. He came here and we fell in love. We just fell in love. I was like, oh my God, he's definitely a pit bull mix. Like, you can see it in his face. He's so affectionate. He is attentive. He's highly trainable. He is cuddly. Did I say that? I said affectionate. He listens well, but he's rambunctious. He's a 1.5 years old now, and he's definitely, crazy in a good way.
He's a puppy.
He is a puppy. He has the zoomies, he gets a little wind up his skirt and he's got to run around the house and grab at the pillows and chase the tennis ball.
You would not believe, and we'll post this picture in our show notes. You would not believe, looking at the before and after picture, that it's even the same dog.
Yeah.
I mean, the colors, nothing is the same about this
nothing
dog.
Is the same, but he has, his skin is just still healing, so his nose is still pink from the irritation of the mange. Demodectic mange is not transferable to humans like sarcoptic mange is. It's just an excess of mites that live on the skin of a dog who's been neglected.
Obviously, a lot of that had been cleaned up by the time you got this dog.
Yeah, but he just had his last skin scraping a few weeks ago, and it came back negative. But he's still very much healing from that.
Yeah.
At 1.5 years.
But he looks so much better now.
Oh God, he lets me clip his nails. I've never had a dog whose nails I could clip. I could stick my fingers in his mouth. You can take food away from him. You can take toys away from him. You can tell him to leave the cat.
Was he in a foster home, or was he at the shelter?
He was at the Miami-Dade shelter for a few weeks, and then he went to, or maybe a few months, and then he went to a foster home for about 6 weeks.
How did he end up in New England?
A lot of the shelters down south now have programs with foster programs up here in the Northeast, because we simply have more people, more suitable homes for these dogs. And they are high kill shelters down south. You
realize come the middle of next January, he's going to be cussing and swearing at everybody because he came from Miami. So,
he came from Miami. And he's going to be, we're told that,
like, what's this white stuff?
And a lot of dogs, especially, he is a specific breed. So Pit Bull Terriers were once America's favorite family dog. And it wasn't until the breed became bastardized by ignorant people that bad things started to happen. So, we had these stereotypes in our mind. Me, having worked with all kinds of dogs, I was still a little worried that what is inherent in the breed that may not make him suitable for our household. And he is extremely protective. So if someone knocks at the door, you're not walking in our back door unless you're invited. Let me tell you.
Well, and where you live, that's not a bad thing. So
I'm in the country, right? But the thing is once you open the door and you walk in, he's extremely affectionate. So he is very protective. He has to be treated with, the inherent breed qualities have to be treated with respect. But he is not vicious, aggressive, or at all interested in fighting.
Well, we have many of our listeners I know that have the same breed of dog. We'll say hi to Mel in Kentucky, who I know has some, and others of our listeners as well. Well, congratulations. The picture that we'll put it in our show notes at stablescoop.com for episode 399. The family picture there is such a great family picture. Forget that it's a new dog. It's just a good family picture.
Aww.
It really is. It's really cute.
Yeah, they were like, okay, we only have one requirement. They came for a meet and greet. So we thought we were just going to meet the dog. And Buck is like, okay, so when, how long do you have to hold him for? Do we have another meet and greet? What? She's like, we can leave him tonight. So we all just looked at each other, me, Buck, and Grace, and we were like, okay. And then she's like, okay, I only have one requirement. Snap this picture. So in that photograph, we just learned that this dog was going to stay at our house.
And it's great picture. It really is a great picture. The dog's posing, which is even better.
Yeah. He's just such a love. He really is a super cuddly. Already in a week's time, he's impressed me more than pretty much any dog I've ever owned my entire life. And that's a lot.
Well, good for you guys. I'm really happy
Thanks.
for you.
Thank you.
Good job. Well, let's head on over to our Uncle Jimmy and find out a little bit about what's going on. Actually, Jennifer got to talk to him last week, Uncle Jimmy's, of course, of Uncle Jimmy's hanging balls and licky things and pecker wreckers. And apparently they have a whole bunch of new products coming out, and things are going very well. They had to get a new factory because they're doing so well over at Uncle Jimmy's. So we're going to hear from Uncle Jimmy, and then we're coming back with our monthly segment on health and wellness with Rachel Pellison. And what is she? You caught up with her last week. I wasn't able to be there. What did she talk about? What's the topic this week?
Blending versus juicing. So raw juices versus smoothies.
Oh, I'm so sorry I missed it.
Yeah, you have to hear which one we prefer, which one wins.
Okay.
Juicing or blending.
Coming up next.
Hello, folks. Uncle Jimmy here, and welcome to the world of Uncle Jimmy brand products, where funny names mean serious products. Featuring Uncle Jimmy's Squeezy Buns, the squeezably soft hand treat that your horse will love. The award-winning Uncle Jimmy's Hangin' Balls. Uncle Jimmy's Sugar-Free Ball. The incredible Licky Thing, also in sugar-free. The amazing Uncle Jimmy's Pecker Wrecker. And the Big Licky. The infamous Uncle Jimmy Hangin' Ball was first designed by me for my own horses to help reduce the bad habits which come from stall boredom. It now can be found around the world. This nutritious, flavored, filled boredom buster will help keep your horses occupied and happy around the clock. Properly hung, it will last for weeks, provided you don't let your horse pin it. And Uncle Jimmy knows who you are. The ball comes in 4 flavors: apple, carrot, peppermint, molasses, and now sugar-free. Once again, welcome to the world of Uncle Jimmy's brand products, where funny names mean serious products, and satisfaction is 100% guaranteed.
Welcome back, Rachel. It's the Stable Scoop Health and Wellness Hour. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Thank you for having me.
I'm very good. You know why I'm good?
Why?
Well, I made a smoothie the other day.
You did? Was it your first one?
It wasn't my first one, but it was my first mindful smoothie. And I bet you'll never guess where I got the inspiration.
I don't know where.
Well, there's this business called Healing the Hungry Soul, and they have this Instagram account, and you posted this really delicious looking combination of ingredients, and I guess it was for a smoothie. At least that's what I read, and I decided to be inspired and make my own.
Oh, cool. I love it.
So what's up with smoothies? You're on a kick.
Yeah, so we're actually going to talk about the difference between juicing versus blending, which blending is making smoothies.
Okay.
So what's the difference? What are the pros and cons of each one?
Blending versus juicing. I've heard juicing on like an infomercial, I think. So I don't even know what it is.
Yes, pretty popular right now. So,
Okay. Take it away.
all right. So we'll just start with what is the difference between the two. So with juicing, you first have to have a juicing machine, which all it does is juice. And so essentially you put produce into the juicer and it grinds it all up and it extracts all the liquid. And with that liquid comes a lot of vitamins and some minerals and the sweetness from the sugars from the produce that you put in there. So it could be vegetables, fruits, kale, apples, anything you throw in there.
Doesn't just have to be fruity stuff. You can do veggies.
Yeah, the idea is to try and get more veggies because you get more nutrients from the vegetables, especially the dark leafy greens.
Okay.
So what you're left with is this very concentrated, nutrient-dense juice, and then a lot of pulp is kind of left over. And so some of the not so great things about the juicer is that first you have to get the juicing machine, which can be very expensive. They make, $1,000 juicing machines. And you're left with kind of all this pulp and all this junk that you have to clean up and get in all the nooks and crannies and the crevices. So it's a little bit more of a process, I think, to do juicing than blending.
Okay. I don't like process and messes.
I know.
It dissuades me from doing something, from going through the process because, right?
Yeah.
If it gets a little complicated, I can't handle it.
Definitely. And then in that, so all that cleanup is because you have this pulp left over, and all of that pulp is a lot of the fiber and things that are very good for you that are in that produce. So essentially you lose all the fiber and you get this very concentrated portion of nutrients, but also a lot of just sugar in there. So you're missing the fiber and all the other good things in the produce, but you are getting a very concentrated source of nutrients. So if you put about 3 cups of produce into a juicer, you're going to get about maybe 4 to 8 ounces of juice out of it.
Oh wow!
So your return is pretty small.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm looking at some of these these juicers on the Williams Sonoma website, and the variety. There's just so many, but whatever style juicer there is, the idea is really just to extract the liquid from whatever produce you put in it.
Yep. So you're kind of drinking your fruits and veggies instead of chewing them and eating them.
Okay.
But have you ever tried juice?
Yes. I've tried cold pressed juice that's been made.
That's exactly what it is. Yep.
And it's really good.
It's super tasty.
It's really good. Like I had wheatgrass juice.
Mm-hmm.
I think I had some combination of fruits and vegetables, which I was very surprised. I thought the vegetable part of it would put me off and wouldn't blend well with the fruits. I was wrong on all levels. It was really delicious and refreshing.
Yeah, they're really refreshing and super tasty. Whenever I go to the farmer's market, I always treat myself to a juice.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. I think we've both had the fully rooted juices.
Yes.
At the farmer's market.
Local Rhode Island-based company, great company.
Great juices. So those are
delicious.
Sort of professional, commercial grade juiced juices. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep, exactly. So the commercially produced ones are exactly the same. They just are probably masters at it. And, if you started to do it yourself, you'd have to learn a little bit to get the right mixture of kale and oranges and carrots and whatever else they put in there.
Okay.
So super tasty. So that's one of the reasons why people love juicing is because the end product is super delicious, very refreshing. So switching over to what blended or smoothies are. So you take whole fruits, veggies, and you put them into the blender with some liquid. You blend it all up. And then at the end, you get this kind of thick, juicy mixture that sometimes is a little teeny bit chunky. And so whatever you put into the smoothie or the blender is exactly what you get out. So you retain all the fiber. And that's really good for digestive health, really good for promoting probiotic, healthy bacteria in the gut. You're going to get a much larger portion. So you put in 3 cups, you're going to get out 3 cups.
I like that. So it's efficient.
Yes. It's more cost effective too, because if you end up with 3 cups at the end and you get to eat all of it as opposed to putting 3 cups in and only ending up with maybe half or 1 cup at the end.
I like that. Eat all of it. That's more my
Yeah.
style. Well, I made
Exactly.
a smoothie the other day, and I just have a junky little blender, tiny little thing. But I used fresh strawberries, fresh mango, and what else did I put in there? Oh, and almond milk, because we really don't drink regular milk anymore. Sometimes just to mix it up a little bit. But the almond milk, I was like, how's this going to taste with the almond milk? And it was so delicious. And I thought it would be too thick because the mango is actually kind of fibrous, right?
Yeah, it is. Yep.
It was delicious, and it was filling. I got 2 12-ounce glasses out of, not a lot of fruits, not a lot of produce. So Grace had one, I had one, and I was full from that for the next 3 hours.
Yeah, definitely. So all that fiber that you kept in there, that's going to help keep you fuller longer. So that is one big benefit of the smoothies, is definitely a fullness factor that you probably won't get with the juice. So I would say the only slight disadvantage to the smoothies is that really eating whole fruits and vegetables is best. So anything in their natural form is going to be best. So even a smoothie, by putting it in the blender, we are processing it to some degree. Now the processing is minimal, but by doing any sort of processing, it changes the way your body digests it. And so eating a whole apple would be better than eating a blended apple. But the difference between those two is pretty minimal. Either way. So but a lot of people aren't going to eat 2 cups of spinach and an apple and a mango for breakfast, right? That's not
weird.
Realistic.
Yeah.
But if you blend it up and put it in a smoothie and you eat all of that for breakfast, then if that's going to increase your fruit and vegetable intake, then by all means, that's 100% a winner for all around health.
It is easy to consume, and that's part of the reason why I make them for breakfast, especially now with a 13-year-old daughter who barely has time to sit down and eat in the morning. It's a great way to make sure she starts her day off with the right nutrition. It's just easy to consume.
Yeah, absolutely. And the nice thing about the smoothies too is you can make them ahead of time. So they're good in the refrigerator for about 2 days. So sometimes I'll make one in the evening. I'll have it sometimes before dinner if I haven't had my smoothie for the day. And then I'll have one for the next 2 mornings. So I'm kind of all set. So I just grab my little bottle in the fridge and off I go. And I've got like this delicious, tasty, nutrient-rich smoothie for breakfast.
So at what point would you say, so I can definitely get the benefits to having a smoothie. That's a no-brainer, pretty straightforward. And the juicer is good too. Why would you even juice something and go for the 4 to 6 ounces of liquid when you can get, much greater benefit from the smoothie?
Yeah. I think it really depends on your personal preference. For me, the benefits of the smoothie, the convenience of the smoothie, the cost of the smoothie outweigh going to juice. But the juices are really freaking delicious.
Oh my God. I know. I was just thinking that. I'm like, that's a nice little treat. Like you said, when you go to the farmer's market, you treat yourself. I know some of the commercial chains carry cold pressed juices now. I think Starbucks and some of the other big names, they're really expensive. I mean, you're expected to pay $8 for a bottle of juice. But the health benefits run the gamut. I mean, from reports have said there's really no benefit at all to, oh my gosh, yes, they're extremely beneficial. My guess is that the reality is somewhere in the middle. But it's a nice treat because it's just so delicious. Honestly, if you're a soda drinker or if you're a water drinker, you need to try the juices because it's different. It refreshes your body. Like it doesn't just refresh your thirst. You feel your body go, oh, thank you.
Yeah, you feel like you're doing something really good for yourself, especially if it's bright green, then it's extra good for you. So it's super tasty. So I think juicing has its place, but I wouldn't recommend that people consume 2-3 juices a day because it really is a lot of sugar. You're not getting any fiber. There's no protein. So it really can become a high sugar food. And so especially if you have any blood sugar issues or you're watching your sugar intake, I wouldn't go too crazy on the juicing.
Okay. So like 1 or 2 a day max.
Yeah, one or two a day max. And you've got to think about how much produce it takes to make those too. So if you make it yourself or if you purchase it, you've got a lot of investment in those juices. So I just find smoothies to be a lot more accessible. You can make a smoothie for $1 if you use banana and some spinach and almond milk or something. They're way more cheap and more filling. So I'm clearly on the I'm on the smoothie track. But I do love the juices too.
Okay. So what are your favorite things to put in smoothies?
So my recipe is I do 3 cups of veggies, 2 cups of fruit, and then 2 cups of liquid. And that will give you about 2 16-ounce servings. So it's a pretty hefty serving. It's a great breakfast.
Yeah. Three cups of vegetables, 2 of fruit, and how much liquid?
2 cups of liquid.
And 2 cups of liquid. What's the best thing to blend them in? Like a blender? Just an old-fashioned blender?
Yeah, any blender works. There's the more you pay for a blender, the more high power it's going to be. So the more efficiently it's going to blend things up and the less time it would take to burn it out, essentially.
Right.
But you don't need anything really fancy. I have a Ninja, which is a fairly high powered, which I love. I'm really happy with. I've heard the Vitamixes are fantastic. Those are more of a high-end blender, but any old blender will work.
The Vitamix. I'm on the Williams Sonoma website, and it is like food porn. It's they have a strawberry one in one blender and something green and something red in another blender. I'm like, okay, I'll dish out $400 for a blender.
Yeah,
if I can make food that looks that good.
No, I think 100, 150, you're going to get a great blender. And I mean, obviously you want to go high end, you can, but I don't think you need to spend that much by any means.
Wonderful. They've got one that's $129, which looks really good. So they like any online vendor, you could find something that's in your price range. That'll get the job done.
Middle of the line.
That'll get the job done. What would you suggest? So give us an idea of what kinds of fruits and vegetables make the best smoothies. What do you like to try?
My 3 favorite veggies to put in are spinach, English cucumbers, and beets. I just find they blend up really nicely. They provide good flavor without being overpoweringly green or bitter. And the beets give you this nice kind of earthiness and a little sweetness from the beet sugars. So those are my 3 favorites to put in.
Okay. And what kinds of fruits would you mix them with?
And then fruit, I do anything. I love berries. Apples are great. Mango. You can use fresh fruit or frozen fruit. A really ripe banana is a great thing to put in there.
Yeah, we do. I can't eat bananas by themselves, but I can have a banana in a smoothie, like half a banana in a smoothie. But bananas by themselves, they make me feel like somebody punched me in the gut, which is horrible because I get a sense for when my body is low in potassium. It's one of those things I crave. This happened when I got pregnant. There were certain things that I would start to crave, and my doctor was like, either your baby needs it or your body needs it. So if you're craving something very specific, get it, eat it.
Yeah, go for it.
And some days I wake up and I'm like, I really need a banana, or I really need some orange juice, which is strange because they're not things that I typically crave. Yeah. And then as soon as I eat that thing, it's done. I'm gone. I mean, I'm like, the craving is over.
You're feeling better.
Yeah, feeling much better. So a banana always works well.
Yeah, and bananas are so easily accessible. They, last on your counter for a week or so, and they're so inexpensive. You can get a whole bunch of bananas for like $1.50 or something. So banana's a great one to do. And then as far as the liquid in there goes, I tend to use water because I don't like my smoothies too sweet. But you can use almond milk, coconut milk. You can use tea, herbal tea. Some people like to put sparkling water in there, just gives it a little fizz.
Ooh, I got to try that one.
Yeah, any kind of liquid you can put in there.
Now it's funny. So coconut milk, I got to try that. Like I said, I use almond milk. And I probably should know this, but you're going to know it off the top of your head. Does almond milk and calcium milk, those plant-based milks, do they have calcium in them, added or inherent?
Both. So they may have some amount of calcium in there depending on which you choose. So almonds would have more than like a coconut milk or a cashew milk.
Okay.
But most of them are also fortified with calcium. So if you just look on the label, there's so many different brands and different formulations.
Okay.
If you look on the label, you'll see if it's got added calcium or what most of them have about 30% of your calcium for the day in there.
Okay. And then kale and the green leafies are another good source for calcium, right?
Yeah, they definitely are.
So, yeah, I mean, it's nice to kind of have this idea in your head that the things that you're putting into your blender are going to meet certain nutrient requirements for you. And I'm always like, I think I'm low on calcium. Like I said, I got the potassium craving. So it's nice to know that, meaning I don't have to think too much about it. Oh, I can grab a cup of almond milk and put that in. Or if I'm making my smoothie with kale or spinach, my calcium is covered. I'm good.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you make your smoothies ahead of time and you're someone like me who is not going to make breakfast in the morning, just like a grab and run, you're so much better off grabbing a smoothie out of the fridge than stopping at Dunkin' Donuts and getting a bagel or, a bacon, egg, and cheese or something. So it's I love smoothies because they're like a convenience food.
Yep.
And you bypass all that junk and they're so good for you. And they really do make you feel so good. Like if I don't have a smoothie, I'm like, oh, I need my smoothie for today. I'm going to have it before dinner.
Dessert before dinner.
Smoothie freak.
We had last week we had Nick Snap from the Make It Snappy Productivity Show on, and we were talking about ways to help you eat healthier by getting organized. And we talked about setting some time aside each week for chopping your vegetables, your fruits and vegetables, prepping your food.
Yeah.
And so I think that routine, that process is making it part of your routine is good for both eating healthy, but also for making it easier to make smoothies in a short time period or take the time to actually make the smoothies ahead. You said you can put it in the freezer, right?
I just put them in the fridge. So
in the fridge,
they're just chilled. Yeah.
2 days. So we're combining, if we're thinking productivity wise, being more productive and efficient with our time, smoothies seems like a perfect fit into that whole mindset.
Yeah, if you want to get really efficient, you can choose stuff that you don't have to chop. So if you go spinach, banana, almond milk, there's no chopping, nothing involved. You can put that whole banana right in there.
See, that's what I like to do. Just throw it in there and press a button. That is so my style.
Yep. Yeah.
I like this. I should be really fit and healthy by the end of the summer with my juices and my blends and my productivity.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Where would you suggest people go for information about making smoothies or recipes?
I like a book called Simple Green Smoothies, and they have a website. I think it's greensmoothie.com.
Okay.
So you can get a 10-day green smoothie challenge for free online, which is like just such a nice resource. They give you all the information about how to make them, recipes, all different things. And it's really easy. And one thing we didn't talk about is you can put really delicious add-ins in your smoothies, like almond butter, yogurt, or kefir. You can put avocado. I love to put fresh ginger in my smoothies, gives it a little kick. So you can really get super creative. You can put cocoa powder, protein powder in there.
So you really don't need to know what you're doing. Like you can just sort of mix these ingredients and somehow they all blend well together. Like, I'm thinking like my thing would probably come out brown and inedible.
It's okay. Some of them do come out brown. They're not all bright green, and that's fine. They still taste delicious.
Okay. So you really can't go wrong in blending these ingredients because they work so well together.
No. I would say when you do the 3 cups of veggies, 2 cups of fruit, 2 cups of liquid, and then add a small amount of the other add-ins, it's like salt. Put a little pinch in, and then you can always add more. You kind of can't go wrong when you start with that basic recipe.
Okay. I can't wait to experiment. I'm going to experiment and then report back and share the results of my experiment.
Sounds good. I can't wait to hear about it.
Okay. And where can people find out more about you, Rachel?
Yes, you can find me online at rachelpellison.com and then also on Facebook and Instagram at Healing the Hungry Soul.
Awesome. Thank you for another amazing wellness segment. We'll hear from you again next month, won't we?
Sounds good. Thank you.
Well, as we announced last week on the show, we are so excited to welcome a new title sponsor to the Stable Scoop Radio Show for the Year of the Listener. And we're also so excited that the Year of the Listener has been so popular. We've been getting great feedback. Our numbers are up 20% this year. And because people like to hear about other people that are like them. And it's been so cool. And, you know, we are so excited because last year, horselovers.com started with us on the Radiothon. And they were one of our title sponsors on the Radiothon. And now we're continuing that relationship on Stable Scoop for a year. And we're very happy to have with us Jennifer, who is the customer service manager from Horse Lovers. Hi, Jennifer.
Hey, Glenn. How's it going?
Good. Welcome aboard.
Yeah, we're so excited to continue this, doing all these things with you guys and being the sponsors. It's been a really exciting year for us.
Well, you know, last year when we did the Radiothon at the holidays, we were promoting the fact that our listeners could enter and your customers could enter to win a contest. And the contest was a trip to Orlando to Disney World to do all the horsey stuff. And we had just been there when we put this together. We had just been there. I was talking to Jason. We went down and we recorded a show at Disney World, and they were so nice and everything. And then last week, we had visitors. We had the big boss from Horse Lovers stop by with the winners, an eventer girl out of California and her boyfriend or husband or something. And they stopped by, and you guys were all here in the studio doing the morning show with us. And then, Helena, they sent over these 2 huge boxes of prizes, and they took pictures with the prizes. And apparently that's not all. This girl won a skid of prizes.
It is a skid.
That's awesome.
Like a real skid.
It is a skid of prizes. Mm-hmm.
So
We don't
Send
do
it to them
things
in a
small.
pallet.
Horse
people
Lovers
do
does
things
it
in
right.
any
Go
small
big or
way.
go home.
That's right. That is so true. Well, I'm
Hey,
particularly
we have to
excited.
live up to that world's largest tax shop title that we carry, right?
That's right.
Well, that's a great segue because I have a hard time actually browsing through your site because I don't know where to go first. With all the brands and everything I constantly need, or at least I think I need, I'm like, where do I go first? And I get distracted by these beautiful, colorful, wonderful products that you have right on your homepage. I'm like, oh, I need a new Fitz shirt. Oh, what's Farnham got going on this week? And of course, one of my favorite all-time ever brands is Shires. So you guys have this, you basically curate the best products from the best brands and manufacturers. You must have a full team of buyers. How does that work?
It's a long days when we go and actually go to some of these trade shows and talk to each of the vendors. It's a very big team effort. As a group, we're a small company, so we take on a lot of titles. As I'm the customer service manager, but I make a big effort to be a part of bringing this experience to you guys as far as the products we select and stuff and the deals that we find, because as Horse Lovers, if you spend any time on it, not only do we sell the newest items that are coming out, the brands that are spring lines or fall lines, they roll through different seasons. We do work closely with all these vendors that we've established relations with to get any of their closeout items. Things that, maybe they overstocked on or just wasn't as popular as they thought it would be. And we try to bring those back to the customer just because they are all quality brands. But it's a daily going through the different vendors that we carry and, making sure we're promoting the best of the best.
I got to tell you, one of the things I like about the website being a horse husband is the deal of the day. You have a deal of the day on there every day, and I come over and look at it every day because I know Jennifer's going to be looking at it every day. So I got to get my defenses up, right? So, but right now they have Fitz. They have all kinds of Fitz clothing on sale today, and this will be gone by probably the time people listen to this. But they have all kinds of Fitz clothing on sale up to 55% off, and we love Fitz. We're set up usually right across from Vadeta. But yeah, so that's the kind of deals you can find there in the deal of the day, and that's not the only thing. They have flash sales and then the categories. One of the things I like, and this is a pet peeve of Helena and I's, because we've been in this retail business for almost 20 years, is when you go to websites and their drop-down menus where you actually search for products are so unorganized and you can't find stuff. I want to be able to get there in 1 or 2 clicks, and I want to do it quickly, and I can do that on your site, which is so nice.
Yeah, the marketing team has done a great job with this newest platform that we've come out with. Exactly like you're saying, we've worked really hard to talk horse speak, because it's interesting when we did it that some of the items, some of the terminology that you get accustomed using is not necessarily what people are searching by. So it was making it very important for us to make sure, like you said, you're going to go to halters, you want to look at, and you know what kind of halter you're looking for. You're looking for a leather, you're looking for a breakaway, and you want to get to that place and search for that item.
That's right.
It
is.
And you also understand
it's good to hear.
You also understand that horse people don't have just horses. We typically have a whole host of living creatures that depend on us for their survival. So dog blankets are included and some pet supplies. And I saw a little kitty face on there. And I appreciate that too, because it makes it a place where it's one-stop shopping, It's raining out right now and I'm looking at my horse's rain sheets that are sitting on the fence getting soaked and they should be on my horse's bodies. And I'm like, oh, the dog doesn't want to go outside. We need to get him a raincoat, so it's nice that you kind of consider the entire horse person and not just the horse needs.
Yeah. That's definitely our goal, to, almost in a lot of barn supplies, because just to your point, no one has, one animal when they get into the world of horses, right?
And the other thing we want to point out too, and we've had other, we've talked about other companies here in the past that were all English. You guys are Western and English both, which makes it so nice because our listeners are about half and half.
Yeah. We're probably about 60-40, but we're trying to add more and more of the Western lines, making them available to the consumer. Just because there's a lot of people that do both. They transition between both disciplines. And it's important to be able to share both with the customer.
Yeah, my wife
and Western
rides
dressage
English
is getting more.
Yeah,
Western dressage is getting more popular. So even the lines between disciplines are starting to blend a little bit.
Yep. That's very exciting. That it's just adding a whole new aspect to the world of riding, I think, as the Western dressage is growing in popularity.
Well, one of the other things we're doing as part of this title sponsorship, and Helene and I are personally excited about this because we'll be able to get the listeners involved a bit in this as well, is since we started this show almost 9 years ago now, we have done a product review because Helene and I are kind of product geeks. So we've been doing product reviews for years called our Tack and Habit segment. And now that's also going to be sponsored by horselovers.com. And you guys are actually going to be providing us products that from all different companies, all different types of products. And some Helene and I will review, some our auditors, our listeners will review. So we're looking forward to doing that every week in conjunction with you guys, and we really appreciate you putting the time and effort into helping us with that because, to be honest, Helene and I, after 9 years, are tired. And we appreciate the help. But, it was tough sometimes for us every week to come up with something new to talk about because we don't have the vast storehouse you guys do. So, it's going to be nice having some help on that.
Yeah, but I think it's such a great part. It's such an important part of, our industry is to be able to review the products because I think it's important to the customer so that they know that someone's been touching them and working with, whether it's a barn product or a breech or, a saddle or a bridle. It makes the manufacturers of them, change the way that they process them. If, the customers say, well, we love these, but can't they be more like this? And without people reviewing them, you're not going to get those answers.
You have a nice feedback
on the quality of the products.
You have a nice feedback loop now. With so much of retail and equestrian retail included taking place online now, it's hard to go and touch and feel and try a product. So this is a really nice opportunity, I think, for all of us, the people who are trying the products as well as you, the retailer, so what people want to buy, why they want to buy it, and then you can pass that feedback on to the manufacturers. So having been in product development before in my previous life, that kind of feedback is just absolutely critical to your success as a product developer. And so I'm particularly excited to have the opportunity to represent our audience and bring that feedback to you guys.
Yeah, and we're adding a great new review process to our to most of our products going forward. It's still in a little bit of the testing phases, but it's going to be, I think, exactly to your point, very important, because it's going to allow the consumers to make comments and help other consumers about different products on sizing and such, and those different things, because this is an industry where it's sized horse cob oversized, and people that are new to horse ownership are looking for specific inches in measurements, and that's not something that's always available from the manufacturers. It's just based on the breed of the horses. So,
Right.
We're always educating too. You have all these experienced riders out there that have been doing it for a long time and take it for granted, but there's a lot of people that are just getting their first horse. And, I want to be able to help both sides of that. And I think, being able to do these reviews and, having the reviews available on our site, it's a huge thing for, whether you're a beginner rider or have been doing it for a long time.
Yeah, agreed. And people who think, and honestly, I've had cob-sized bridles from two different manufacturers that are definitely two different sizes.
Yeah,
So,
I agree. Yep.
there's some kind of
and it's hard to explain that to people that don't shop e-commerce all the time and are used to touching and feeling a lot of the items. So if the reviews are out there, they're saying, hey, this runs a little bit bigger. It's just something that is going to be available to the consumer now, which is going to be great for us.
And that makes your return and exchange policy kind of important too. If there is going to be a little bit of trial and error when you're buying online, it's comfortable to know that the company I'm buying from has a fair exchange policy, and you guys are great.
Yeah, we're pretty open about taking most things back, even if it falls outside of the range of our policy. We like to work with the customer as best we can, because we understand things happen. Sits in a barn for 2 months and you're like, oh no, I no longer need this item. We'll work with you. We're happy to do it.
Right. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's for sale that people's lives and safety depend on. Their horse's health depends on it. So if you get something and you're not comfortable, you think that you can't depend on this product, it's really, really nice. I mean, that just creates a lot of comfort in my mind. I'm going to go to horselovers.com. If I have a problem, you guys are available to chat. You're responsive to your emails and on social media channels. So you just don't feel like you bought something and then you're on your own there. There's a nice, and I mean, this falls under your camp. There's a nice customer relationship, even though you're not actually in my town or in my back pocket. I still feel like there's a relationship with you guys.
Yeah, I'm glad. Yeah. And that's exactly what we want the customer to feel, is that we're here for them. Sometimes the phone lines are really busy, and I know the customers get frustrated when they're, waiting in line. But, every one of the reps that work here is, working with the customer as best as they can to make sure they're getting the best experience from us as a company.
And I happen to know that one of those customer service people, you, is a horse girl. And it is our year of the listener. By the way, horselovers.com is where you want to go for everything we were just talking about. And you can put a Z at the end, horseloversz.com. I think it works the other way, too. I think I tried it the other day, and it comes back to you guys anyway. But we... yeah,
that's the IT guys.
Yeah. Now, is our year listener, so now I'm going to catch you off guard and ask you about you. I happen to know that you're a horse person, and you also went into being a horse mom.
Yep.
So how many kids?
I started out as a horse. I have two. I have a 23-year-old daughter, Chelsea, and I have a 21-year-old daughter, Megan. And they were both avid riders. I think they would consider themselves avid riders, but, one's graduated from college and one's just finishing up college. So our show seasons have kind of been put on pause until we can hopefully get back into them.
Now, what kind of showing?
But they dabbled in most of it. Their biggest focus was dressage as we went forward, but they were pony clubbers. I was
You're a
involved
pony
with pony
club
club
mom.
Yes, I am. I was the secretary. I was the treasurer. I was diehard pony club. I also did 4-H. And then a lot of the show circuits for the dressage once they got really involved in dressage. Chelsea had a great little Connemara pony that we was leased to us by a wonderful family that she took pretty far until we lost him a couple of years ago. He was a great experience for both of them. I credit him with teaching them how to ride.
Well, one of
the horses always get the credit. They always get the credit.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so they should.
Yeah, I think you failed if you don't give them the credit.
Absolutely.
Well, now, Jen, you also rode, and if I have this right, and it's usually the typical story, and it's our listener, by the way, you became a horse mom, so you kind of put your riding on the back seat, and then now you're at the point where they're out. Do you want to get back into riding again? By the way, that is a majority of our listeners now are getting back into it after the kids are out.
Yeah, I'm probably one of your statistics. I would go with that. I've had my quarter horse since I've been riding him since he was about 3, and I purchased him when he was about 9, and he just turned 21, and he's my dressage partner. I still ride him on a regular basis. He's a little far away from me now at a farm, is about an hour and a half away, and he's become a wonderful schoolmaster. Everybody there loves him. So I feel like it's a testament to, how well the girls and I have worked with him over the years. And so he was purchased for me for my 40th birthday. And this year, as I won't mention, is the next decade birthday. So we are in the process of building a barn at our new farm. So he will be moving to my home. So I'm doing exactly what you're saying, Glenn.
How exciting.
The kids. Yeah. So, obviously, I've already warned my husband that, he can't come alone because he's been in a herd his whole life. So we'll have to bring.
So we need 6.
Into getting that.
That's awesome.
Exactly. Yeah, I didn't say 2, right? I said how many?
You can't just have 2. That's not a herd.
No,
that's a pair.
No. Exactly.
I'm really excited.
Only people go around in a couple.
That's right.
I'm really excited for you because being a mom, you give up so much of your own personal joys. I'm going to say joys, but the little things that you like to pursue so that your kids can have. And it's really hard sometimes when sometimes I go up to my daughter's lesson and they're all riding around up there and I'm like, oh, wouldn't it be nice to jump a course?
Why am I not paying for a lesson?
Yeah.
Sure. But so this is a really special time for you. I'm really excited for you.
Yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to it. I know the people at the barn are going to be devastated when he leaves, but I think it's just time. I just feel like it's probably one of the most exciting times for me. It's just to think that all these years I've always wanted them. You play board and you don't have as many horses as you like because there's a difference between boarding and keeping them in your in your backyard.
Yep.
And you're far from them. You always have to get in the car and drive there, and you only get to spend a couple hours. So yeah, it's going to be really exciting to be able to take that next step. And hey, maybe I'll get back into showing. Who's to say? But I have to say, taking the kids showing, I just felt that the horses made them better people. It's just because it's such a commitment to taking care of them and it made them more well-rounded, I think, having that experience. And I just always loved sitting back and watching the whole thing, whether they were just, hosing them down and playing around with them in the barn or, seriously getting ready to show, I don't need to tell you the difference between a schooling show and a recognized show. The pressures are just so different. But it's just been a great experience overall watching them do that. And my husband always said, hey, they didn't have boyfriends until they were 20.
See, that's we've been saying that for years. You want to keep them away from boys, buy them a horse.
Yep.
Yeah. All the years I worked at the barns, because I did a lot of bartering to keep the horses. I cleaned stalls and did stuff like that. And I always would laugh at the kids you watch them turn 16 and the permits would come and you'd be like, okay, this will be interesting. The horse is either going to get sold or they're going to keep coming.
That's right. That's right.
It was like the transition time. I get the car, the horse has got to go, or I really still want the horse.
Well, Jennifer, we do this thing every week with the listeners during the Year of the Listener where we ask them rapid-fire questions. So, Helena, I think we should just catch her off guard and ask her. What do you think?
I think we should do it.
I think we should do it. All right, here you go,
She's
whether you want to or not.
All right, here we go.
Alrighty.
What's your favorite food?
Oh, I told you how old I'm going to be. It's probably based on my mood. Probably it either could be sushi or potato chips and onion dip. depending on how
my
the day ended.
God. You are a girl.
But both
after
There's
my
an
own
eclectic
heart.
taste.
But both of them would have to have Merlot involved.
There you go. Well, that
was
solves
the
everything.
You want to come over? What you doing tonight? Come on over. Hang out with me. We'll pop a
There
movie.
you go.
What? So then, what's your least favorite food?
I have to go with probably liver. I remember growing up and always having to eat that at my
My
parents' house.
mom used to make it too. Liver and onions. I was like, oh god.
Ugh,
I think it's supposed to be liver and onions. That was the tradition, right?
Yeah.
Who came up with that? Because liver wasn't bad enough. They had to add onions.
Yeah,
into
that's
it.
right.
Yeah.
That's some kind of like Chinese torture or something. Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
What is your biggest equestrian pet peeve?
I would think in all the years working at barns and being involved in the shows is watching people treat the animal more like an object than a partner. They're missing the boat on what it means to have a horse. I always say that person needs to do NASCAR. They're not supposed to be riding.
That's a great comparison. Because
Yeah.
some people do treat their horses like race cars.
Yeah. When it becomes a tax write-off, I don't think it's you're getting what these animals bring to the table.
No, ma'am. Okay. Do you have a favorite professional or celebrity equestrian?
There's a lot of them that I liked over the years, but I'm actually on Lendon Gray's Youth Dressage Festival committee, and working with her over the past 10 years has been. She is the epitome of what an equestrian is, and hopefully people will continue to follow what her core teaching is. She's so involved with the kids and trying to make them good riders as they come up the ladder, and giving them opportunities. She finds horses for kids that don't have the means to get them, and these kids are forever in her debt, and are happy to be there.
She's committed to the cause, the real cause of creating an experience for kids, or for people, not just teaching, but creating the experience that will become a part of their.
Yeah, and
will become
it
second
just gets
nature.
bigger and bigger. Yeah. Yep.
So if you could choose a career that did not involve horses, what would you like to try?
Well, I do have a huge passion for photography. So that would probably be something I would do. I was I like art and, painting and those type of things. So,
do you like to photograph
I would
people
do
or
that.
landscapes?
I would probably have to, the horses would still be involved in that.
They're never far away.
Yeah. I used to do the school yearbook when my kids are little. So I did a lot of kid photography, dabbled a little wedding photography, but, that would be something that I would steer towards, would be, that passion.
If you won $1 million and you had to use it to go on vacation, where would you go?
Any place with a beach.
I'm with you, girl.
Yeah.
Let's bring this.
I really do need to get the
I know.
Merlot out.
There you go. Yeah, I wouldn't be too picky where they send me, but it would have to have a beach.
Something about salt water and sun. To just, you can never
Correct.
truly get clean. This is what I say. I can never truly get clean unless I go dip myself in a warm, salty ocean somewhere.
Absolutely.
If you were to describe yourself with just 3 words, what 3 words would you choose?
Well, around here, they'd like to say I have a lot of candor. So that would probably be the number 1 word. And I'm pretty open and honest.
You're a Jersey
miss
girl,
the
aren't
word.
you?
How'd you guess?
Your accent. That's how I guess. And your attitude.
Born and raised.
Accent and attitude right there make a Jersey girl.
That's me.
I
knew you weren't from like Mississippi, so
Yeah, well, I don't think I could pull that accent off, but yes. Northeast New Jersey. I called home for a long time.
Northeast New Jersey. So that would be Bergen County?
Yep. I was born in Bergen County, and we moved to Morris County when I was about 10. My sister actually still calls Jersey City home.
I grew up just over the border in Rockland County, right in Suffern, on the border of Mawa.
Oh, there you go. Yep.
Yeah. So
that's real northern Jersey.
We're a special breed, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So
that's 1 word.
What's one word? Special breed?
Special, yeah.
Special? That's one. I'm sick, Glenn. Can you please just let me make my mistakes in peace? Thank you very much. What, Jennifer, what's the most terrifying thing you've ever done, and would you do it again?
Oh my God. I try to avoid terrifying. I usually like to use the analogy that the highest place I like to be is on the back of my horse.
Isn't that funny? There's so much to not fear when you're up there, but yet you gotta take 10 steps up the ladder, and
my husband is like, that is terrifying being up there. I was like, well, I guess it's all in your perspective. Because I'm not a big fan of flying, like going on planes, but I'm not going to not visit the world because I'm afraid of that, so I'll get over it. But, I haven't done things like jump out of an airplane or, go down a roaring river in a raft. I'm not sure why people would want to do that. So, I don't really, I don't have an answer for that because I've avoided that word, terrifying.
Okay.
Childbirth was an experience, but I wouldn't have called it terrifying.
It has no, you know what? 2 years old, 2 and 3 year olds, that can be terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's some moments there. Gosh, as they all come flooding back to me as we're talking about it, those midnight runs down the hallway when you hear your kid making sounds that they just shouldn't be making.
Yeah. Well, and my younger daughter escaped from her crib. She took the railings right out of it.
See, that's terror right there.
Yeah. When she comes walking into your bedroom, you're like, how did you get out of the crib?
And what route did you take to get here?
Yeah, exactly.
If you could have a superhero power, what would it be?
A superhero power? Oh, I don't really do Marvel comics. I guess I would like to fly. Like if I was Superman, I would take flying. It's different when you're controlling your flight. When you're in someone else's control, it's a whole different story, right? Got it. I'm with you. See, we do have a lot. I don't know if it's horsewomen or if it's Jersey girls, but we have control issues. I feel much more comfortable. I think it's the Jersey girl thing because I hear that more and more from people.
Yeah, I like to be in control of my own destiny. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Okay, last one. If your horse could speak, this is maybe your new one, or what question would you ask?
You know what? I would probably ask I don't know how to put this in the sentence, but to tell me how do you tell me when you're in pain? Because in all the years that I've been around horses, I feel like they mask their pain more than people do. And they're in more pain than they're, I don't know whether they're not willing to tell you or just their, the way that they're just the animals that they are. When they're in extreme pain, you can see it in their eye, but sometimes I think they're in pain and they're just tolerating it. I think, second to dogs, they're one of the most domesticated animals I've ever been around. Yeah. I think that would be something that I would want even all people to know, because I don't think people realize how much they're tolerating,
because they don't complain.
No, when you're ripping the bit in their mouth or you're tightening the girth too harsh or, what you would consider simple things, but even just their general pain, if they're, have a pain in their back or something, outside of seeing them lame, sometimes I think they mask it more. And I would like that to be answered so you can help them.
I love it.
That's perfect. Very good. Well, thank you so much, Jennifer from horselovers.com. We appreciate you stopping by, and we're looking forward to the party.
Yes, and it's always fun to talk to you guys.
So we're going to be traveling in 2 weeks now. God, it's hard to believe it's that close. We're going to be heading to Rolex and, of course, the 3-day event down there in Kentucky, the only 4-star here in the United States. We're so excited. Jamie's going to be there. A bunch of listeners are going to be there. Wanted to remind all the listeners that are going to be there that we're doing a meetup a half an hour before the start of cross country on Saturday at jump number 1. So make your way out. It's usually to the left as you walk into the cross country fields. Jump number 1. We're going to meet up a half an hour before the start of the day. We're going to hang out together. We can walk some jumps together, watch together, and then everybody kind of splits up. And then we're going to reconvene, and we'll get the time for you. I don't know the time yet. We're going to reconvene later in the day at the Eventing Nation booth. So the Horse Nation Eventing Nation booth, and Jamie and I are emceeing the trivia contest at Eventing Nation, and they're going to give away, well, I think they gave away about $1,000 worth of stuff last time. So they're going to give away a ton of prizes in the trivia competition, and Jamie and I are going to lead that. So we'll get the times for you, and we can hang out all day together on Saturday. Our coverage, we're going to do 2 shows from Rolex this year on Horses in the Morning, is going to be brought to you by Bates Saddles, and we appreciate their support, and of course the Clarion Hotel where we stay.
I have a Bates saddle.
Do you? Do you
love
like
it.
your Bates saddle?
Love, love, love it.
Now, do you have one with the changeable gullet?
I do.
Yeah? It's
Yep.
so nice. Jennifer got this new horse. You know, she has the Wintec version of that. She got this new horse. All she did was change a gullet out. It's so nice.
Yep. Yeah. And Brody, you know, he gets fat and skinny over the winter and the summer. And so I have to change a gullet every now and again. It's super easy. Love it.
Good, terrific. Well, and then, of course, Clarion Hotel, we'll be staying there when we're there. Now, they're out of rooms for Rolex, but next time you're in Lexington, take a look, ClarionHotelLex.com. And now, Neil, hit the music. It's time for Tack and Habit.
This Tack and Habit segment is sponsored by my new podcast, That Newport Show. Go check it out. If you like to travel at all, or if you love all things historic or anything by the seaside or New England, you must visit Newport, Rhode Island. And you can find out the inside scoop on what makes it such a magical place by going to thatnewportshow.com. We're also on iTunes.
That's where Jennifer and I had our honeymoon, and I love listening to this show because it just brings back memories.
It's a super place.
It is fun.
All right. This Tack and Habit segment is a fun one because it's actually a product that's made by a woman who I know personally. And her name is Culver O'Neill. I'm having a difficult time talking because I have no lungs
Your
left.
voice is going away here.
I know. But the name of her business is called Two Horse Concoctions. And she makes these really wonderful products specifically for horse people and for, outdoor people. And she was kind enough to send me some samples of her products. And I'm going to talk about today. Two Horse Concoctions is they make products that are inspired by windburn, freezing temperatures, dirty, scraped, cracked skin for people who just need to keep going despite all of these things. The products are all natural. They're mostly organic, and they're made up of ingredients that will benefit people's skin. And there's like the scents are just lovely. They're naturally occurring scents. You're not going to get like, you know, blueberry, flowery, musty combinations. These are all very natural. Okay, so what I have horse breath, lemongrass, lip balm.
Yeah, I see it here on the website. Horsegrass lemon
I know. Say that 5 times.
Lemongrass lip balm.
Horse breath, lemongrass, and herbal organic lip balm. God, it's a good thing I'm sober. Okay, so why do I like this so much? This has been the best lip balm I have ever used. Most of the stuff, even chapstick, the perfumey lip balms, the cosmetic lip balms, even the other ones that are like call themselves all natural, my lips always end up getting drier after the stuff either gets absorbed into my skin or it like evaporates. I don't know what happens. This has stayed on, so my lips stay moist for like, I don't know, a couple of hours. I'm like, oh, do I need to put more lip balm on? And I actually have to like, you know, when you kind of rub your lips together, I'm like, oh, they're still really soft. So the ingredients are avocado oil, beeswax, coconut oil, shea butter. So those are all the like things that make your skin feel good and repair your skin. And then the scents are essential oils. So lemongrass, something called bergamot mint, which I'd never heard of before, amyris, and of course vitamin E, which is also a skin healer. Again, my favorite thing about it is that it doesn't dry your lips out more so afterwards. It goes on and it stains on. It's great.
She has one called $2 Chuck. And it's a tinted,
What's it called?
$2 Chuck. And it's a tinted lip balm. Let me read the first line. Inspired by cheap wine and dance hall cowboys. This natural lip tint has a wonderful lip balm feel with serious tinging ability. Tinting ability.
Yes. Isn't that nice?
Cheap
She's
wine
fun. She's
and
got great
dance hall
sense of humor.
cowboys.
$2 Chuck. I love it. Goes on sheer. I got to get that. Actually, I need it. It's a great color too. It looks dark in the tube, but when you put it on, it's very light and sheer, and that's kind of my style these days. Is you I don't know those. What Buck says is when women who wear like really bright red lipstick or super hard high contrast colors, they don't have kissable lips. They don't look kissable. So I'm like, all right, let's go for something a little more sheer. I want to be kissable. Doesn't everybody want to be kissable?
I know what he's saying, though, by the way. Guys do think that, ladies, when we see a really bright lipstick, we think, one, it's going to get all over us. I think that's our first thought.
Yeah.
Whether it will or not, it doesn't matter. We don't understand those things, so we automatically assume it will. And it just looks like you don't want to kiss it. It's just weird. I don't know what it is. It's just the way. I get it. I totally get what he's saying.
I had never heard of that before. And I always thought, gee, I wish I could wear red lipstick more often. It's so dramatic and glamorous, and there's so many celebrities who, when they put on a slash of red lipstick, you're like, wow, that really stands out. And Buck was like, yeah, it's pretty, but I wouldn't want to kiss it.
I'm on with Buck on this one.
So
I
ditched the red lipstick. And
we apologize to everybody now wearing red lipstick.
Yeah, that's true. So the Two Horse Concoctions, I like that she offers the tinted lip balm. Perfect.
I love that her names on all this stuff is too funny. Then she has the By the Fire lip balm.
Yes, By the Fire Thieves Oil lip balm with natural clove. I love clove. Love the smell of clove.
So you like this stuff then?
I like this stuff, but then I need to talk about the other one, which is the 4-horse hitch salve.
Oh, 4-horse hitch lavender salve.
Yep. See, I got to put my glasses on to read it. 4 power. I cannot talk today.
4 powerful herbs infused with oils and mixed with butters.
No, you say that again.
4 powerful herbs.
You have to slow your mouth down.
Yes.
That's something I cannot do. 4 powerful herbs to soothe cracked and irritated skin. So what did I do? I tried it. I'm like, oh yeah, it smells nice. I put it on my hands. Oh, it makes them feel good. It now lives on my nightstand because I cannot go to bed without putting this stuff on my hands at the end of the day. Every night. It's good. What does it have in it? Comfrey, calendula, and plantain infused olive and grapeseed oil. Doesn't that just sound like the answer to every skin problem you've ever had?
I just looked at the first review here. We are a commercial fishing family that experience rope burns, cuts, etc. regularly. Both 4-horse hitch salves heal, soothe, and calm. Ordering more right now. There you go. I don't know what kind of recipe or ratios she's got in this stuff. And it smells good. So sometimes I like fragrances. I don't want to say I necessarily like perfumes, but I do like to smell nice when I go out. And so one of the things I like about this is you put the lip balm on and you have this very subtle scent that you can smell yourself, and anyone who gets close enough to your lips can smell. But if you don't want anybody getting close to your lips, you have your nice soft hands, which also smell good. And it's just it's a fragrance, not a perfume. It's a natural one. So I really like that part too. Very good. So out of a bale? Oh, 6 definitely. Bale? Yes, absolutely. Oh, a whole bale? A whole bale. I love this stuff. Oh, good. 2-horse concoctions, and it's not that expensive either. I'm on the website right now. It's about the same price as you pay in the store. So yeah, I'm getting that tinted lip balm right now. It's $4.50. All right, and you can find this at just best way. We'll put a link in our show notes, and we'll put a link over on our Facebook page too. But it's the number 2 horse concoctions on Facebook, and that takes you to their Etsy site and where you can buy it and have it shipped. Yes, and it's lovely. She packages it. Here. She packages it very nicely too, so they make great gifts. Terrific. That's all. That's all. All you need is warm, soft skin, Alina. Yeah. After you stop sneezing and blowing your nose. Well, we're going to wrap it up for today. Thank you, everybody, for being here. We really appreciate it. Don't forget about Helena's other show, That Newport Show, at thatnewportshow.com or on iTunes or any of your favorite podcast players. It should be migrated to those now as well.
Oh, yeah, we're on Stitcher, too. So if you have a Droid phone, go to Stitcher.
Okay, terrific. And then you also can be found where?
The best way, you know what? If you're listening to the show, just send me an email, helena@horseradionetwork.com. My emails follow me everywhere I go, and I love to hear from you. So please feel free to send me a message, whatever it may be.
And you can find our past episodes and basically everything you want to know about Stable Scoop at stablescoop.com. You can also download the Horse Radio Network free app at Horse Radio Network on iOS or Android phones. It's free, it's simple, it's easy to use. Best way to listen to the shows. And that's it, Helena.
That's plenty, but there will be more next week. Until then, happy scooping.